Well, gentle tigers, did you ever start doing something and then realize you were wrong about pretty much all of it? Last video I started the 8.8. I talked a little bit about how I was going to do a spool and C-clip eliminators. For some reason that's what I wanted to do in my head, so I started buying parts for it and realized later that none of that really made sense. I ended up buying some of the wrong parts, and it's completely my fault, and I would say it was just a lack of basic research. I even commented in the video about how there's a ton of videos about it, but I never looked at any of them. So I'm changing directions a little bit, and here's my path. This is an Explorer 8.8, and the C-clip eliminators I got are for the Mustang rear ends, basically. And this is a disc brake setup, and those don't work with the disc brake setups. There's just a lot of basic things that I was able to find really quickly, but I didn't take the time to look into it at all before I started buying stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep the disc brakes, not going to do a spool. I'm going to do the Eaton True Track. So we're going to put this bad boy in there, keep the 31 spline axles, and I'm just going to change the ratio. So it's going to be the 308 still, not doing the C-clip eliminators. And I think that'll work out better for what I want to do with this. My truck made 1,000 horsepower on the dyno, and I ran 8s at the track with it, and it has a bone stock Explorer rear end in it. Didn't do anything to it. I never even checked the fluid in that thing, and it's fine in that truck. So I figure for this thing it's going to be less power. It is going to be a manual transmission, so it'll probably be shocked a little bit more than with the automatic, but for more of a street intended vehicle, this makes more sense. So I apologize to the guys that thought I came up with a solution for the C-clip eliminators on the Explorer axle, but no, I'm just an idiot. Alright, so next I'm going to be working on installing the Giffins Performance 8.8 to Volvo kit. And I say Giffins because someone made a comment in the last video that it's not Griffins, and I was saying Griffins, and I didn't even realize that it was Giffins. It doesn't have an R in it, so I had my brain had my autocorrect on, and I was mispronouncing the name. So Giffins Performance. It's got these guys. It has a lower bracket and it has an upper bracket. So one gets welded on here and one gets welded on about like this. And over here it's just the opposite, but this has the bolt hole for the panhard bar. So the instructions come in pretty detailed with some pictures. I got a bunch of fluid all over it, so it's a little hard to read, but the lower bracket goes straight down and it's 5 11/16 from the outer brake flange, the inner side of the outer brake flange. And then the upper bracket gets mounted 10 1/4 from the inside flange, which lands pretty much right on the vent tube. So first thing I'm going to do is weld the vent tube shut, and then we'll get started on the rest of it. I did clear it down with the flap wheel where I'm going to weld it. I drew lines on it where I'm going to weld, then use the flap wheel to clean them off so I know where I need to weld. And the rest of it is just getting started. Go do it. Go ahead and starting to mock up the brackets. I do have this one on the ground just like this to measure the angle. It's about 12 degrees on each side, 24 degrees, so I'll split that in half. And I do have the diff at 90 degrees, so I can mark the bottom. Diff is upside down. And essentially what I want to do is take this measurement, and then this should be about 78 degrees. So it's about that 24 degrees divided by 2, one for each side. The brackets aren't perfect, they're a little bit twisted. It's about 12 degrees on each side, and then I'm just going to make sure that we're right at that 5 11/16. And then I should be able to mark it there and tack it on. So this bracket here is actually going to end up right on top of this weld. So I'm going to grind this bracket out a little bit, otherwise it puts the bracket at an angle. Alright, so differential's at 0 degrees, and then I'm going to go from the outside of the bracket to the inside of the flange and measure 10 1/4. And then I'm going to make sure that it's also pretty close to 0. Now the axle's pretty much ready to come out. I just got to do a bolt on this side and we'll be done. Alright, got it all out. I just had a sock on the end of the drive shaft from when I pushed it in the garage. I didn't want to scratch the floor, so I wrapped the sock around it and then eventually zip tied it up to the exhaust. So, didn't know that there was this little spring there connecting the parking brake cables. So did a tensile strength test on that. Now I'll post it on Marketplace for $50 and hopefully someone will come get it. Alright, so not really sure how I'm going to do this here, but I did leave the little sway bar on between the arms, so I got to go up and over that, and right now I'm just trying to bolt it in so I can test fit everything, make sure it's all that worked a little better than I thought. Alright, that's a good sign. that bolt started. Okay, so I got everything kind of bolted in. I didn't tighten everything down, but it just test fit in there. So there is some space underneath there, but the kit did come with spacers and washers for all that stuff. And I'll have to put a bigger washer over that, but other than that, everything went in pretty nice. So that's what it all looks like. Now we'll pull it all back out and fully weld it. Alright, so I did want to test this thing with the little spacer that comes with the kit. It comes with washers and spacers to go on the inside of here to center that. The arm was a little bit farther out, so I had to kind of force it in with the sway bar here. So what I did was I loosened the sway bar, dropped that down, and then I was able to pull the arms in, and then I pulled the sway bar back up. So seemed a little tight. I did verify the measurements actually from center to center on the two brackets, and I came up with the same measurement on the factory axle. It was about 37 1/4 from center to center, and that's about the same measurement that I got on the factory axle, so it seems like it's right. But other than that, I'm going to pull this thing back out, fully weld it, and going to work on doing the gear and all that stuff, and then we'll get it fully welded, paint it, gear it, and then put it in. Alright, have fun.